everyone, this is Eileen from Eileen Stuffs, and today we are going to be taking another look at my credit card debt. If you are new to my channel, welcome, and if you are returning, welcome back. I am a cash budgeter and stuffer here on YouTube, and I am working on paying off debt as well as building up an emergency and sinking funds. So if that is something that you're interested in and you haven't already, please consider subscribing below. I'll link the video below, but I filmed a couple videos back where I gave an update and I talked about that I did go to the bank looking to consolidate my credit cards and found out stuff about student loans affecting my credit score. That's really basically changed my trajectory as far as what I'm doing here. I think now more than ever, it's incredibly important for me to pay down my debt, get my credit back up, and move forward. Today, we are looking at what is called the credit card utilization rate. Now, this is something that the financial person told me is one of the most important things for rebuilding credit and something that should really be considered when you're paying down debt. I know the credit card snowball method is actually very popular, where you kind of line up your credit cards smallest to biggest, you pay off the smallest, then you take that and then you move to the next card and you move to the next card. And I think one of the biggest reasons why that debt snowball is popular is because it's really psychological. You get to get like small rewards along the way. You're reaching small goals, so it's supposed to help momentum. And I think that's good for the personal, but going off of the meeting I had with the financial person at my bank, that is actually not really what banks look at when they're thinking about approving you for things like loans, like home loans, car loans, approving you for debt consolidation loans, which is why I was there. So that really hit home for me. It really opened my eyes to maybe I do need to do something different. So what the bank lady told me is exactly what we're going to do today. She basically said the ultimate goal is that you want each credit card to be at a 30% utilization rate, and that is supposed to look the best for credit. Now, I mean, ultimately we want to pay off our debt. We don't want to carry debt, but I think it's kind of a catch-22 is sometimes we need to carry debt to have good credit. And we need good credit to be able to buy things like homes and cars, unless you can pay cash for these things. And I know that's really like the method behind the Ramsey method, and that it's something that we all can achieve. Yeah, I guess that's kind of it. So what I'm going to do today is I'm actually going to take the advice from my bank. I found that meeting very helpful. So we're going to figure out what exactly would the 30% utilization rate be for each of my credit cards, and we're going to line them up from the highest amount that's owed to the lowest amount. I'm throwing away the debt snowball. The other thing she told me is you're much better off getting the balance down on your high credit than you are for a lower one, because it's going to affect you more to have like an $8,000 credit card that's almost maxed out versus a $500 card that's almost maxed out. And that is something that can really help build your credit. So I want you to guys remember that. Right now I'm thinking about rebuilding my credit and following the advice from the bank that is these are the things that a bank would look at to qualify you for something like debt consolidation. So basically, this is the plan that she made with me. And then I'm supposed to go back and meet in 3 months to see how much I was able to bring this down. And then if I'm able to bring, help a little, then I would qualify for debt consolidation on my credit. So that's really where this is coming from. I know it goes against a lot of the advice, especially like Dave Ramsey or what you might be seeing. So it is very different, and I'm very aware of that, but I mean, I feel like I got it from the source, right? Like I got it from a bank, I got it from someone who literally would qualify or not, and I trust their professional opinion on this, so that's what I'm going to do. My goal is when I get each credit card down to the 30% rate, then I'm going to move on to the next card, and I want to get as many cards as I can down to 30%. And then I'll go from there, of course, but that's really my next step at this point. And again, I know it's radically different, but I feel like hearing it from a bank for me was eye-opening, and it's really changed my opinion. And I'm really curious to see if the method the bank told me, that the plan we made, is going to help make a difference in building my credit faster and helping me qualify again for things, right? So I do have everything listed out, and we are going to, like I said, start at the highest amount. And I think it's about time just to get into this. So I'll go ahead and zoom you in. I did create this little page. If you guys like this and want to try it for yourself, I'm happy to throw this up on my Etsy shop. I actually have some other things to put up on my Etsy shop, so I could always put this as like a really easy download. But basically you're listing out your credit card, what your credit line is, what your current balance is, and then you're going to figure out the 30%. And then for me, I'm going to mark the difference because this is going to show me how much do I have to pay before I can move on to the next card. And this is kind of my new debt payoff method. And there is a formula for this, but it's very simple. It's basically your credit line times 0.30. That gives you the utilization rate. And then to find the difference, I'm just going to subtract what my balance is minus what it should be to see what the difference is, like how much do I have to work on paying off. So that's where we're going here. So let's go ahead and just get started. My highest credit card is credit card 8. So I have them numbered right now, lowest to highest, so it's going to be a little easy to do it in reverse. The credit line on this card is actually $8,800. My current balance is $8,141.90. So you can see it's very high. Here's the formula. Credit line is $8,800. I'm going to multiply that by 0.30. So my utilization rate at 30% is I should carry a balance on this card of $2,640. If this is the balance I had on this card, again, where the bank is concerned for qualifying for things like loans, I would be good. So obviously I'm way higher than that, and that's going to make my credit score lower, and it's going to make me look like a bad candidate for a loan. Let's see what the difference is. So we have 8141.90, and we should have about 2640. So the difference that I really need to pay off as soon as possible is $5,501.09. This is goal number 1. All my extra money is about to basically go to this right now. And so that's credit card 8. The next card I do have numbered as credit card 7. That balance is $5,250. I'm sorry, that's my credit line, $5,250. My balance on this card is currently $4,904.55, almost maxed out. So I have 5250 times, again, 0.30. The 30% rate, I should not carry a balance any higher on this card than $1,575. So if I had that, right, if I had credit cards that looked like this right now, my credit score would be way better. I would be looking better as far as the bank is concerned. Let's figure out the difference. So what do I need to pay? Once I get this one done, I'll move on to this one. So we have 4904.55 minus the ideal of 1575. So the difference is I need to pay off at least $3,329.55. Okay, so this would be number 2. My next one is credit card 6. This card has a credit line of $3,300, and my balance on this card is currently $3,213.01. So again, incredibly high, almost maxed out, not going to be good for me at all. Again, we're going to do the formula, the line of 3,300. I don't know what I did here. I'm going to multiply it by 0.30. The utilization rate, this card should carry a balance no higher than $990. If I have a balance of $990, I'm faring off better than I am now. So what's the difference? So I have 3213.01. I'm laughing because it's like 1 cent, so random. And I should have $990, so the difference is I need to pay off $2,223.01. Okay. Then credit card 5, we have a credit line of $2,400. And once again, we find my balance is way past the 30% utilization rate. It is $2,372.45. 42 cents. So what should it be to make my credit score be high, make me a more eligible candidate for a loan? It would be nice to buy a house one day, right? It would be nice to get to that point, and I think that's really also motivating me. 30% utilization rate should be, I should not carry a balance higher than $720. 2,372.42 minus 720. So I have a difference that I need to pay of $1,652.42. All right, we're halfway there. So then we have credit card 4. That one has a credit line of $1,100. This card has a current balance of $1,079.37. Really high. And I have to say, looking at this is making me begin to realize why I'm paying monthly payments, every month, and I'm really getting nowhere because the balances are so high, which means I'm making a payment. A big part of that payment is going to interest, and then they add interest next cycle, right? So I'm kind of in a lose-lose here. So I'm really hoping that this method, especially starting with this big one, is going to make a difference for me this coming year. So let's get our 30% utilization rate. It's 1,100. We're going to times that by 0.30. So the total, this card should be no higher than $330. So we got 1,079.37 minus 330. We have to pay a difference of $749.37. 876. Okay, counting backwards is so credit card 3. My credit line is $2,500. My balance is a little bit higher than credit card 4, but it's at $1,491.16. So this is my best card so far. The less utilization rate. All of these are basically near 98-99% utilization rate, right? They're really high, but this one's not as bad off. Let's see, what should 30% be? So we have 2,500 times 0.30. So this one should be no higher than $750. We have 1,491.16 minus the 750. That means I need a difference I need to pay off of $741.16. We have 2 more. This credit line on this card I actually closed. It's no longer an active card, but I do have a balance of $606.85. I actually just made a payment on this, but unfortunately I didn't update in time, so I'll just use this old one. I think it was at like $1,200, if I remember correctly. This is, just do it off $1,200 because I'm pretty sure that's what it used to be. I mean, if I'm wrong, at least I get some kind of idea. It's like I thought at $1,200, the utilization rate should be $360. So for this, I need to pay off at least $246.85. And then my last card has a credit line of $1,500. And the balance is $675.93. So this one has a little more leeway as well, but still nowhere near the 30%. So it should be no higher than $450. Okay, so this one's really not too far off. So what is the difference? The difference is I need to pay off at least $225.93. So again, this is where I start to think, okay, if I did the Snowball, I could pay this off probably in one payment, right? Pay this off in one payment. But the financial person at the bank told me, don't do it that way. Go highest first, because again, the higher the credit, the higher the balance, the more it hurts your credit. So my instinct is to keep going with the Snowball method. I'm kind of struggling with that. I did say this in the last video, my student loans dropped my credit score. I have since been reading articles online. Apparently that did happen to a lot of people, but it's not a great situation. The student loans are getting themselves worked out right now, but the credit score didn't go back up. So my credit score was at like 660 something. It's now down to 570. It's really low. So this is for me, I want to get back up to where I was at least before the 85-point drop, because then I was like, okay. I'm also curious to see if her method does make a difference, because when you think about it, this credit card has like a $260 payment a month. This one has a $30 payment a month, right? So that was something else she said, is you have to think about the monthly payments, the higher monthly payments, right? The less extra income you have. So tackling the big ones not only help this look better faster, but it also helps your monthly payment go down, which is another bonus. So from now on, no more sinking funds. The sinking fund that I have was for my mom for paying off. I'm about to make her another payment for Christmas. And from there, I'm just going to consider her part of my debt. I might just put her on a line on my budget as like debt payoff. And I do have savings money that I'm, kind of sitting in my bank right now to help me get through this time of the year where I lose work, right? So whatever. So I've talked about all this a lot, and that's kind of where I'm stopping right now, because this really is going to be the total focus. If I do want to try to save a little still. Really, it's going to be all about debt payoff and debt tracking, and mainly the 30% utilization rate tracking. So this will become a new theme on my channel, and I'll keep you guys updated. Like, is this making a difference in my credit score? Like she said, like, am I noticing positive changes? Well, we're going to start tracking that, because I think the one thing I hadn't gotten to this point was a professional opinion about finances. I've listened to people on YouTube, I've listened to finance stuff, read books, Dave Ramsey, stuff like that, but I never actually sat down with someone that works in finance. That it kind of changed things for me, and I'm curious. So this is our new payoff goal, is to focus on this. I'm going to start with credit card 8. I'm going to bring it down to 2640, and then once it's at 2640, I'm going to move to the next one and move to the next one. And my goal is not even to get these paid off, it's just to get them down to the 30%. And then once I do that, I'll go from there. And then see, is it making the kind of difference that I don't know what to call her, financial advisor at the bank told me it will. And I'd be curious if once I start doing this, she told me get the top 3 down and then come back, and then we might be able to consolidate the rest. That's what she thinks the plan will be. This is pretty much my reason for living right now, is credit card 8 and paying off $5,501. So this is going to be the main focus. I do want to make I want to look at my new budget book to see if it has any type of debt tracker, but if not, I'm going to make something to keep track. I also thought it might be fun to do a credit score tracker to see, so as we can see, as the debt goes down and the credit score goes up and the utilization rate goes down, are we noticing a jump in credit score? So it's, a little bit of an experiment here, but also I feel like a solid plan and one that I'm going to move forward with. So all right, you guys, this is pretty much it for this video. I'm really curious to hear what your guys' opinion is, because I do feel torn, and I did have like a love for the Snowball method. I hope you guys are having a wonderful week and a wonderful Wednesday. I will see you in my next video. Bye.